Welcome back. It follows the stories of matriarchs umama Madosini, an acclaimed and award-winning musical legend, and ouma Katrina Esau, the last person in the world who could fluently speak the endangered new language. That's award-winning director Lebogang Rasethaba's last film, titled Last Stories of Culture, in partnership with Castle Milk Stout. To help us unpack how the film documented the journeys and the rich heritages of two of South Africa's last cultural doyens of Khensani and amaXhosa linguistic and musical institutions, we're joined by brand manager Khensani Mkhombo and creative director of the Film Tshepo Tumahole. A very good morning to you two. Thank you so much for joining us, and a warm welcome to Morning Live.
Good morning, Cynthia.
Good morning.
Now, Tshepo, I'm going to start with you. Give us a brief synopsis of what the film Last Stories of Culture is all about and what the inspiration is behind it.
Cool. So the inspiration, I'll start with the inspiration. So the inspiration behind it was really to capture our stories of culture that are on the verge of extinction. We felt compelled as a brand and the creatives behind the campaign to really capture our last stories of culture, because we were seeing that most of our stories were really not being documented in the right way. So what we did is that we came up with an idea to actually capture the story in a way that would be intriguing, in a way that people would want to consume the content, because we find that using film to actually communicate our stories was actually a great way to get people to engage with the campaign, to see who the characters we're talking about, to see who are these last people, like ouma Katrina, who can speak the language, like umama Madosini, who's actually a great Mkhombo and Ukhadi player. So for us, it was just capturing it on film and actually getting people to notice the dire need to preserve our stories.
Now, Khensani, to someone who may not know, who are ouma Katrina Esau and umama Madosini Mpahleni?
So ouma Katrina is actually the last surviving speaker of a language called Mu, which is a language that's actually existed for over 25,000 years. So she sits within the Khoisan community and is a matriarch there that we felt, the importance of telling her story. And umama Madosini is an amazing Mkhombo and Ukhadi player, an instrument that has been played by young girls within the Xhosa community. And she continues to tell the story about the importance of preserving these things, because it almost represents the coming of age of women and the journey that women would take as they grew up. So these two matriarchs we felt fitting to tell the story in the way that we would like to relay it.
Yeah. Now, Tshepo, speak to us about spending time with the two matriarchs and what lessons came out of that experience.
It was really a life-changing experience, I must say. When you're sitting and you're conceptualizing an idea, on paper, it didn't really seem like it's going to be this impactful. But once you're there, once you talk to these ladies, once you sit in front of ouma Katrina, and we realize that this language, if we do not do anything about it, as young people, as South Africans, if we do not do anything about it, this lady is really the last person who can speak this language. So you felt like we felt like we needed to do something, we needed to do more. We were already there filming the story, but as a brand, we felt like there's more that we can do, because once you engage with ouma Katrina and you hear her passion, the passion that she has in terms of preserving the language herself, you can really get into terms with what it really means to her, sitting with umama Madosini as well, and seeing her play the instrument, seeing how she really wants to impart this knowledge, but not many people are actually taking advantage of this vast knowledge, this wisdom that these ladies have. And, not a lot of people are taking it up, not a lot of people are learning from them. So we just, when you are there and when you engage with them, you just feel like as people, we need to do more. We need to really get into the heart of our African stories and find ways to preserve them.
Yeah. And Tshepo, what were the highlights of working on this project, and what did it teach you about your own love for filmmaking?
So, firstly, and it's something that we spoke about. I'm a Sotho person, like my home language is Sotho. And the first thing that got into my mind was, what if one day the Sesotho language also faces what the new language is facing today. So firstly, for me, it was I looked at it from that lens, and from a filming point of view, we just let the story unfold. We didn't go there with a plan saying this is what we want to capture, this is what we need, this is the script and all of that. We went there and we let the story unfold. We allowed the ladies to tell the story in the way that they would want to represent themselves,
Sure.
Because if you are preserving it, if you're a matriarch in your own community and you want to preserve something, we cannot script it for you. We should allow you the freedom to actually tell the story in the way that you would like to tell the story, in the way that you would like the coming generations to consume the story. So for me, it was quite different because usually in our industry, you go there with a script, that this is scene 1, scene 2, scene 3, but then it was slightly different because we wanted the ladies to tell the story in the way that they felt comfortable.
Yeah. Khensani, we heard, Tshepo there just talking to us about his fear of extinction of his language. I mean, why, in your opinion, is this an important story to tell?
So I think as Castle Milk Stout, we've always been a brand that advocates for the preservation of culture. And just like Tshepo said, we found, the importance of the urgent need, rather, of preserving culture. And more so, we also found the need of telling our stories in the way that only we as South Africans can tell. And that's really the journey that we endeavored. And that's why, this is important. The truth of the matter is our stories are dying. They're also not being told in the way that we should be telling them. And only we, with our own voice, can tell them in the best way possible. So that's really what we wanted to do. That's the journey that we've gone on. How fitting or how best fitting is it to give ouma Katrina and Madosini their platform through our brand.
Now, Tshepo, speak to us about, the huge responsibility, of ensuring that you tell people's stories authentically, and how do you think you'll be able to achieve that?
Like I mentioned, for us, you need to go there with an open mind. You need to go there and allow people the freedom to tell their stories in the way that they would like to. So for us to maintain the integrity of the campaign, we didn't go there as a brand and tell them to talk about Castle Milk Stout or to talk about how we have been preserving culture as the brand. We went out there honestly, and we went out there and asked the ladies that how would you want to preserve your language? How would you want to preserve these instruments, and how would you like to tell the story of the instrument? So we went there not as a brand. We actually took the back seat as a brand, and we actually let the ladies lead the story. We let the ladies talk about how, in their ways, they would like to preserve their different stories. So I think it was quite noble from a brand point of view to just take the back seat and allow the story to unfold and allow the ladies to take the limelight. So for us, that's how we felt like we needed to be authentic through and through.
And Khensani, where do people access the film, and what are you hoping to achieve with this body of work?
So the people can access the film on all our YouTube page on YouTube, as well as all our social media pages. So at Castle Milk Stout on both Instagram and Twitter, as well as Facebook. And really what we're hoping to achieve, we've got an exciting project that we're working on. Whilst we went on this journey, we, like Tshepo mentioned, it was a huge eye-opener for us. So what we actually plan to do is collaborate with the renowned Tshepo Jeans, where we've created a fashion line that we are putting on sale. And this fashion line really will be used to raise, all proceeds from this fashion line will be used to raise funds that will be used to donate to culture preservation projects for both ouma Katrina and Madosini. These items will be available on our site for purchase.
Okay, please do share with us the handles of the pages where we can access the film.
So it's at Castle Milk Stout on Facebook and Instagram, and then www.castlemilkstout.co.za on our website.
All right. Khensani and Tshepo, thank you so much for joining us. We do appreciate your time.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right. Brand manager Khensani Mkhombo and creative director of the film Tshepo Tumahole speaking to us about his short film titled Last Stories of Culture. Well, the short film follows the stories of matriarchs umama Madosini, an acclaimed and award-winning musical legend, and ouma Katrina Esau, the last person in the world who could fluently speak the endangered new language. All right, before we take news, let's take a look at